Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Help with Natalie Cuomo. I'm here with Luke Mones. Like bonus.
Like bonus. You nailed it.
How are you, Luke?
I'm doing great. Thank you for taking the time to really nail my name pronunciation. I feel very taken care of. I love the wall, and I want to live here.
Oh my God, how are you? You're from? Well, you live in LA.
I live in LA.
You're from
Portland,
Oregon or Maine? Oh wow.
Also let me just say for the record, nailing the Oregon pronunciation. Also, at New York, New Jersey, people say Oregon. Very upsetting.
Oh yeah, I know.
Well, this means a lot. I mean, frankly, I feel like you're 2 for 2 with the pronunciation situation.
To be honest, I can thank the computer game Oregon Trail.
Oregon Trail, yes. You bring someone on the road, they die. You put a big cross in the ground.
That was a fun game. So, wow.
Did you play it in school or did you have it at home?
In school.
Me too. Yeah, we had it in Oregon. How weird is that?
It's trippy.
But I guess you grew up in New York, right? So there was a lot of like self-referential New York stuff all the time because it's the most famous city in the world.
I know. I feel like we were driving. There's so many weird moments.
Yeah.
I feel like when you're learning about history in school, you don't register that it's actually about real people and real things.
Yes.
Like you just are like, it's so boring to you because it doesn't sound like they're talking about real people.
Right.
But then when you get older, you're like, oh, this was about real humans and real events that took place.
Totally.
And you're like, can I learn about it now? Because now that I can register that it's legitimate, this is very interesting and I'll retain it.
Because when you're young, you're like 14, they're like telling you about things that happen. It's like all hypothetical and it's impossible to grasp. But now, like, I feel like now I wouldn't do well in school, but I would be, that's a good point. I would be more interested in school.
Definitely.
Except math. Math
I fucked myself with math. I feel like my masochism really came out with math.
Oh, really?
Masochism. I was so bad at it, but I loved the challenge.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my
I
God.
kept taking crazy calculus classes and
my God.
getting B minuses, but I'd be like, I don't know. I'd be like, yeah, I'm still gonna take linear algebra and calculus 2. It fucked my GPA completely, but
calculus 2. I mean, I hear calculus 2 and I get fight or flight. I'm like, I have to lock myself in
I was
room.
terrible at it, but I was like, it's fun to be bad at something.
I mean, that's a good trait to have, to want to be challenged and to be okay with being like, I don't know how to do this. But
there's no benefit in taking the class if you're not going to be that type of brain.
Exactly. I wish I could go back and tell myself, don't even, when you take physics or pre-calc, which I never got past pre-calc.
Yeah.
But don't even care about it. Don't even go.
Yeah.
I wish I told myself that,
right?
But that would have I think that would have fucked up my life to not go to the class,
I agree.
I would have flunked out if I was just I refuse to take this specific class. You have to, you know what I mean?
You do have to go.
I like geometry. I like shapes.
What were you like in school?
I think I was, I liked, I couldn't do any of the number stuff. But I think I was good at memorizing facts.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, it was anything where I had to do a problem or a calculation, it was bad.
Yeah.
Very bad. But I don't know if I was I mean, I feel like comedians, were you class clown?
No.
I feel like comedians were never class clowns. Well, once in every 30 comedians is a class clown, I feel like.
My last episode, we had a class clown.
Oh, really?
Mr. Kyle Dunnigan.
Class clown.
Class clown. But I do feel like a lot of comedians are the unexpected.
Right. We were just kind of
we're inside observing.
We're sniping from the back. That's more, people assume, they go, class, when somebody
class clown, you're like, no, I was silent writing my observations about you.
Exactly. Yeah. I was just brooding in the corner.
Yes.
Being I don't know how to do pre-calc.
Well, okay, so I was watching your sets. Love them.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, I was watching. Oh my God, what amazing! You've done Netflix as a joke tapings.
Oh my God.
Comedy Central.
Oh,
Don't
come
tell.
on.
Oh my God, late night. What are we doing here?
This is crazy. I didn't know I was getting a one-way ticket to Compliment City. This is crazy. I'm the mayor.
I'm really impressed. First of all, your humor is very observational.
I am very observational. I just kind of ended up that way. I didn't even know if
I wish, wow, I am so impressed. I watched 3 of your sets, and I think the most personal thing I learned about you was that you had a big head as a baby and could talk for a year and a half before you could walk.
I had a big head. That's so funny.
I was like, that's amazing. God. I feel so I overshare so much on stage. If I could observe things and I could walk off stage and people would just not know anything about me, God, that would be cool.
I know. Well, that's how I designed it. That's
How
so funny.
Did you do this, Luke?
The headline is I have the big. So we know you've always. That's me doing a morning show.
Head. You grow into it. You're tall.
Oh, I don't think you grow into this. I think this is just this.
No, it's
just
not big. You don't have a big head.
No, I do.
You're very tall. You just the way you painted in the joke is very funny. You paint a picture of a baby with a big head holding it up against the wall.
Exactly. Not being able to balance.
Yeah, it's very funny.
When my girlfriend Alyssa, we had our first Thanksgiving together a few years ago. This somehow came up, and I remember one of the first things she said to my family at Thanksgiving was, Luke's got to have the biggest head of anybody I've ever met.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, we all knew each other by that point, but it was still she remarked on it. She was like, look, his head is huge.
If it makes you feel better, I've always been very insecure about having a tiny head.
Tiny? I think you have a normal size head.
No, it's very small. I remember one time I even asked my mom's friend, do I have a small head? And she said yes. And that made
this lady?
She's a dog walker. And she said, yeah, you do have a small head, bitch. You do.
I feel like I'd rather have a small head than a big head. I could never wear a hat.
You don't look like you have a big head.
Well, now I don't.
This was not the point of what I was saying.
I'm the biggest person. This is the only personal thing I've ever talked about. I'm the biggest person anyone's ever met. So of course I have a big head.
No, this was about as a baby. You were talking.
I could talk. Yeah. Okay. So I have.
No, you don't have a big head.
I mean, I do have a big head. I truly have the max. Baseball hats.
Wow, I didn't even really know this about you. I didn't go into this thinking my next podcast guest has the biggest head of any comedian I've ever had on.
Honestly, I'm not joking. Unless somebody has a serious medical condition, if we went outside in all of Manhattan right now, Midtown, let's say Midtown. Let's be conservative and say Midtown, biggest head of anybody in Midtown.
Wow.
Now it's I max out the head size. They don't sell hats. They sell hats for me, but they don't sell hats above me.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I'm really shocking right now. I feel like this is I feel that you're this was the head thing was a quick aside, and now I'm really intense.
No, that's good because I have a tiny head, and Dan has he thinks he has a big head.
Yeah, he is
and what's funny is because he's having these sinus problems, and he even went to the emergency room because he had this swelling above his sinuses, above his eyebrow. And he's trying to figure out, he got a CAT scan. He's trying to figure out why it's swollen above his eyebrow.
Yeah, what is it?
And the last person he went to was the third sinus doctor who was supposed to be the specialist of specialists.
Yeah.
Was have you considered the fact that maybe you just have a big head?
Well, that's a crazy thing to say to a patient. You're this is the final stop. They're this is the guy. This is the guy in New York for sinuses. He's hey, maybe you just get a big fucking head. Huh? Have you thought about that? I love
so we're just looking at him differently. We're Why
would that make your sinuses hurt? I guess if you just more sinus.
They swell up, I guess. It's kind of the forehead comes out a little. So we're maybe your forehead just always stuck out and we never noticed.
Is that what he's having? Is he having forehead protrusion?
After he flies, yeah.
Whoa. That's crazy. Like a bag of chips?
Yes.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
But scary.
But he'll be okay.
I wish him the best.
He's fine.
He'll be all right.
Yeah. But big heads. He's got a big head. I got a small head.
Yeah, I feel but his head is not big compared to mine. I feel like he's got the Goldilocks situation.
Really?
Between us, my head's big, your head's small. He's got the
just right
normal head. Don't worry about the swelling after you fly. It's scary, but don't pay attention to it. Just ignore it. Consider the fact that you just got a big head.
Wow. Okay, so this is not what I meant at all, by the way. Your head, I've never thought about the size of.
It's okay.
Everything seems perfectly in proportion, in my opinion.
Thank you. I'm glad you think so,
yes.
But it's just the reality, and it is the only. I think it's the only personal thing I've ever said on stage.
Well, okay, so I'm just really like.
Yeah.
I love how like your set is so observational.
Thank you.
I feel like I've tried to. My attempts at observational humor,
yes,
have resulted in silence. They've resulted in like, well, like I feel like I've thought things are funny,
right?
That are observations,
right.
and then everyone's just like, because there are like moments, but I feel like for some reason the only things I'm able to make funny are things that are really personal to me.
Right, things that are uniquely you.
Yeah. And then there's this one other thing where I know this is so weird to say, but like there's almost like this weird security. If something is just like my story, then no one else can take it.
That I think is a thing that I feel worried about sometimes, and I get jealous of comics with the really personal stuff. Like if you have stuff that only you can say, you know, it's just, it can never be taken and nobody can ever say that you took it, you know?
But you do have your own perspective on everything. Like it is like very like your perspective.
That I hope so.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, you never know. Maybe one day I'll just end up being like, why do they have, what's the deal with airplane food, you know? Which I think I might say that, but...
But it's your perspective on airplane
course.
food.
You're right, exactly.
I really like the way you. So how do you like? What's your writing process like?
Oh my God, I was actually just talking to someone about this. I wish I knew. Do you ever feel that way? I'm like, I wish I knew what the process was. I feel like sometimes I say something and then I say something to like a friend and then I write it down on my phone and then that like just kind of magically turns into a bit. But I was just saying to another comedian, I forget, like a few days ago, like, you ever have this thing where you think back to like an old hour or like an old set you used to do that's like a long bit that you love and you're like, how did I come up with that?
Yeah.
I have legitimately no memory of how I like built that.
Yes.
But I think mostly it's just like I have like a thought or an observation and then I build it out on stage, I would say.
I know what you mean. You're like, wow, I'm really proud of that and I have no idea how I put that together.
I legitimately no idea. I truly wish I knew my process because it would make my life a lot easier rather than just like having Post-it notes and notes on my phone and emails to myself that are just like, talk about pots and pans. And I'm like, pots and pans? I wrote this at 3 a.m. What does this mean? And then I'm like, oh yeah, somehow, you know, I don't know. I don't have a pots and pans joke, but you understand.
Wow. What was it? When did you realize like you want to be a comedian?
That's a great question. Probably, I think I always wanted to do it, and then in college, I went to college in New York, and I kind of like I went to a few comedy shows, and it was just kind of this thing that was like bubbling up in me. I was in college when like Netflix and YouTube were like getting a lot of stand-up comedy put on them, and it was like something that was it started to like be in my sort of sphere more, and so I just got really into it, I would say. What about you?
Well, okay, I wanted to be an actor my whole life.
Okay.
That was like my dream since I was like a kid.
Great.
And then I kind of lost some confidence in high school, and then I went to college, kind of put it aside. When I graduated college, I went to acting conservatory. I just kind of failed at everything. I worked at this coffee shop and I kind of gave up on everything. I was like, whatever, I just work in coffee. And then I went to some like movie premiere with some random guy I was dating, and it was with like these actresses that were my age, and everyone's like, what do you do? What do you do? They're all directors and actors, and they're like, what do you do? And I'm like, I work in coffee. And like for some reason, and I'd been thinking about stand up for a while, and I had written like a set and I'd like practiced it. And like for some reason, like going there and telling everyone I worked in coffee, I was like, what am I doing? The next day I like went to an open mic, and then I went like every single day after that.
Oh shit. Wow. And you started in LA, right?
I started here.
Oh, here. Okay.
But then I moved to LA for like 9 months.
Oh, okay. I think I met you right when you moved back, maybe.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I started here also, but starting in LA, that seems hard. Because I live there now, and I'm like,
brutal. Do you like LA?
I do. I love it, but I'm glad I didn't like start there.
Why?
because I just think there's less opportunities for stage time and less opportunities to like develop if you're a new comedian. And so many of the audiences are like people who work in the industry, and it's like I feel like in New York, when you're like a newer comic, it's like I just remember it being more kind of pure, and audiences are just regular people. You know? And there's just way more.
You can create your own opportunity so much more
exactly
easily.
And there's way more stage time.
Yeah.
You know,
what is the best advice you ever received?
The advice I would say it's the advice I remember most and think about the most. So that probably makes it the best advice I ever received, which is from my grandpa. Is this sweet?
That's going to be good. Yeah.
This is sweet. Who said that if you don't like what you're doing, take a look around, and he said, brush your teeth. And I didn't know what that meant, but I think what it meant was if you don't like your life, or if you don't like your situation, take a deep breath, look around, brush your teeth, reset, figure out what like is wrong, and figure out what you can do to fix it. So I think about that a lot. Brush your teeth. Like brush your teeth sounds like just brush your teeth, but it's like
brush your teeth.
It feels deeper than that.
Oh my God. Wow.
Brush your teeth as advice in its own thing is maybe not the best advice, because I mean people tell me everybody tells people to brush their teeth, but I just mean like, you know, the figurative brush your teeth, and then like.
So if you don't like what you're doing, take a look around and brush your teeth.
That would be it.
So what's an instance where you did this?
Oh, wow. I would say what happened was I was going to college in LA, and I really didn't like the school I was at. And so that's when I got the advice. So I was going to a small college in LA. I was just kind of like bummed out. I wasn't having fun. And I think I wanted to be in a big city. And that's when he gave me that advice. And I was like, yeah, reset. And I was like, I should get the fuck out of here. And so I transferred to a school in New York. I came here, and then I feel like was able to start comedy. Although I guess I could have started comedy in LA, but like, as we said,
it's hard there.
Harder, worse. And yeah, so I feel like, and then I started comedy, so I feel like that was advice that kind of got my life going in the direction that I wanted to go.
What was brushing your teeth? Like, what was that for you?
I looked at that as like clean your slate and clear your mind and figure out what you want to do.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily figure out the path of your life, but like figure out like what was important to you.
I like that.
You know?
Wow, grandparents can be. I always wish that my grandparents gave me a nugget like that, but they literally never did.
What did they give you?
They gave me no nuggets, to be honest.
No nuggets?
Not
a single one? Not a
no
single
nuggets
little,
from them.
Not a morsel?
I like, you know, when you grow up and you read like these kids' book stories about like the grandkid that's best friends with their grandparents.
Totally.
And you're like, I want that.
Yes. You want the grandpa from Rugrats.
Yes. You want to be best friends with your grandparents.
Right.
And like, I feel like I never was best friends with I loved my grandparents.
Yes.
But they were never like, come here, child. Let me tell you. Let me tell you everything about my life, and like they just never did that. And like I don't know. They just never really did that. I had these like dreams of like being embraced by them in a certain way, and I just never was.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you think about it, it's like the odds are not in our favor to have that kind of. I feel like I mean, I say that as someone who I feel like I did have that. I wasn't, you know, this was advice I got when I was like 19, so I wasn't necessarily like getting bounced on his knee when he said I was like the size I am now with my big head. He was like, it was on the phone, but yeah, I mean, they are people who are like a little bit, yes, they're your parents, but they are a little bit removed from your life, so you do have to like they have to really cultivate the relationship with you. And so if you're like a kid, like you can't do that. You can't be like,
you want them to be like, come here, let me like tell you the nuggets of life.
Totally. They have to make the effort. And if you're, I'm not accusing your grandparents of not making the effort, but it sounds like they weren't. And it sounds like they need to step up.
No, they were great. They were great grandparents, but they just like, I don't know. I just like, I wish I had like my grandpa always told me, like, no cookies before bed. I don't know. Like, I wish I had like a.
No, you know what? I
just have like I don't have that.
I don't want to make it sound like I had like I always was told, you know how like, okay, this is a weird example, but you know how like Joe Biden always talks about like his parents, like my mom always said, Joey, blah, 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 blah. And like, I feel like he always has things where like his parents always had sayings. My dad had a saying. Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, I don't know any sayings. So just for the record, I did get that advice. And
I like a saying.
It's advice that it was like isolated to this one point in my life that has always stuck with me because I feel like it set me on a certain path. But I also feel like I wish that in my life I had more of those moments where I'm like, how do people remember like sayings that other people had? I don't remember anything.
It really is hard to remember sayings.
So just for the record, I wish I think I can relate. I'm on the same page as you in terms of like, I wish I had like repeated advice where, you know, someone was bouncing me on their knee and I just want to be bounced on a knee.
Well, my grandpa would always do this thing where he would be like, my mother always told me not to chew gum. She said it wasn't ladylike.
Was he Ronnie Dangerfield?
I don't know.
That's crazy. I love that saying. I mean, what is it? I mean, that's funny. Was he trying to be funny?
He was definitely trying to be funny.
Okay, yeah, because that's funny.
Imagine he wasn't. That's like that was like his line for sure.
That's a funny grandpa line.
Yeah, I never even thought of him trying to be funny with that. I was like, oh, okay, yeah. Because like, you know, when you're little, you're like, all right, yeah.
Totally, everything is at face value.
Because I was chewing gum when he said it. I would just be in the back like.
You still chew gum?
I feel like I can't chew gum around people. I can't have gum in my mouth without being like, like comedians that chew gum on stage. I'm like, how are they doing this?
That's wild.
It's crazy. I literally cannot chew gum without being like, I can't do it.
And by the way, no one can. I feel like you see people on stage are like, so
you really don't care about your set. Like people do tapings with gum in their mouth. I'm like, you don't care? Yes.
I feel like, yeah, you're right.
They don't give two motherfuckers. It's wild. It's beautiful. I wish I was that free.
I feel like when I chew gum, I don't want to get gross, but like when I chew gum, I do feel like my saliva obviously gets more activated as everyone's does. Yeah. And I already have like burned in my memory times when I've been on stage and accidentally spit on someone.
Yeah.
Like I had that happen like a few months ago where like there was this couple in the front row and I was like, I forget what bit I was doing, probably about airplane food. And I just said something loud and I just saw like, is this too gross?
No.
I saw spit like fly out and just I couldn't look, but I know it landed on this lady and I was like, oh my God.
Oh, that's okay.
But I mean, I don't know. I'm like, that's why I could never imagine chewing gum on stage.
Did you acknowledge it?
No, I should have.
Yeah.
Because it would have been weird. Like if I was like, I'm sorry if I stopped there have been situations where I have done that.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason, I just felt like, let me just keep it moving because she didn't seem to react that much. She probably did that thing where like, so you're talking to someone and they spit on you and then you're like a few minutes later, you know? Yeah. You're like, oh, let me actually just do this weird thing with my thumb on my chin that I've never done before. Yeah, you know, you're just kind of like,
that's not okay.
Yeah, exactly.
So, okay. I hear that you have told your Uber driver that you love them.
I did. Yes, I did do that.
Really?
What do you think that is?
Do
I just have a lot of love to give?
You have a lot of love to give.
That might be what it is. I mean, I think I told the Uber driver I loved him. And then I also have said love you on accident. Like I remember being a kid and saying love you on accident to like a telemarketer on the phone.
Oh, I've never done that.
Interesting.
Wow.
Well, now I feel like a freak.
No, I think this is very common.
It is? Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Have you ever said love you to the Uber driver?
Uber driver, no, but I think that's a different dynamic.
Yeah, I mean, of course. I don't know. I don't know what came over me, but
what did they say in return, or you just
I just got out of there. I was just like, I'm sorry, and then I left.
Wow.
But I mean, I wonder what the rest of his day was like.
He was like, I think that'd be nice. If someone said love you, I would be like,
yeah, totally. A fresh love you is nice.
yeah.
You know when you have a friend say love you for the first time. Oh, I love you. You know, it's nice.
When a friend says love you, I literally am like, thank you. This is exactly what we needed today. This is what we needed today.
Yeah, it's like you're really bringing things up for the whole friend group. This is exactly what we needed.
You know what? I feel like I feel this with family like new family members.
Yes.
This is a very touchy thing. So with my stepmom, I have a whole joke about this that I've been doing. Like, I just grew up in this family where, like, I don't even know if it was healthy or not, but my parents said I love you every 5 seconds. They're like screaming at me, like wanting to kill me, and they're like, I love you. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But like, I just like grew up in this, like, we tell each other we love each other.
Totally.
And so like I do that, and then it's not normal for other people. So they just like, you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean. And do you feel like you put it out there first?
My stepmom, I put it out there, and
oh, you do. Good for you. That's great.
With her not reciprocating it, it guts me.
Oh, does she not reciprocate?
When my stepmom doesn't say I love you back, I've written I've spent hours in therapy talking about my stepmom not saying it back.
Now, can I ask, how long has she been your stepmom?
5 years.
Is she your first stepmom?
Yes.
Married 5 years. Official stepmom 5 years.
Yeah.
How long? Dad's girlfriend?
Like a year.
Okay, Dad.
Yeah, he's like he is quick. He's a quickie.
He's quick with it.
Yeah,
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would. I mean, 5 years. How many years have you been saying I love you?
So she says it sometimes.
Oh, she does. Okay.
So that's what fucks me up.
Totally.
She said, I've stopped altogether at this point. I've stopped. But so she'll say it sometimes. That's why I'm like, okay, we're getting somewhere.
Yeah.
She'll say it sometimes, kind of trick me out. Then
Totally.
I'll say it. No, she won't say it back. I'm like, oh my God. I don't even realize it's like the most vulnerable thing you can say to someone.
Yeah.
When someone doesn't say it back to you, I really like when it's a grandparent, it really is like, whatever. They're old school. Like, I'm just glad to love them.
Totally.
But when it's like someone married to your father and they don't say it back, it literally, and then my therapist, he's just like, you know what? Welcome to the club. He goes, welcome to the club. This is how so many people feel about their step-parents. I'm like, welcome to the club. Welcome to the club. I don't want to be in this club.
Yeah, I don't want to accept this reality. I'm trying to change it. That's why I'm in therapy. He's like, well, it's a long stay and there's no checking out of this hotel. So good luck and I'll see you later. He leaves in the middle of the session. But that's crazy. I mean, but I really think it's good that you're initiating, at least with, it sounds like the stepmom initiates sometimes.
Right.
But the fact that you're initiating with all these new family members.
But then maybe I'm like, maybe I shouldn't pass this word. This is like such an argument. I feel like should the term "I love you" be passed around like this?
But these people are your family. Your stepmom married your dad.
Yeah.
I mean, who else would you say I love you to?
Because I love you to me is not just like I love you. It's like, well, we're family.
Right.
We accept each other.
Right.
We want the best for each other.
It's deep.
It's like it's saying so many other things. It's saying
Totally.
like everything is good, everything's okay.
Totally.
Like it's just saying so many things. And
100%.
like when someone doesn't say it back, it's like, I know you heard me. So it's like when someone just stands there and it's like, you're like,
you know what's worse than the silence is the Have you gotten that? I feel like I've gotten that before. I feel like that's yeah. I mean, what about like with like a boyfriend? Have you had the unreciprocated one, or has it been one where he's said it and then you haven't said it?
I definitely think I've been in relationships where the guy has said it and I've just been like, but I think it's because I don't think they meant it.
Yes, totally. I've had, I mean, I've been together for a long time, but girlfriends in the past, I feel like I've had at least one relationship where in a fight, she said it for the first time. And it's not like I didn't say it back, but it was a thing of like, it raised the emotional stakes because she was like, well, I love you. And I'm like, all right. You know,
Like now you're saying in a fight is not really the best time to bring it up. Yeah.
You're telling me now that I'm looking back, I'm like, that might have been kind of a toxic move.
Yeah, it was a toxic move.
But see, that's me being older, and in the time I was like, well played.
Yeah. You're like, oh, reel me in, why don't you?
Yeah, I was thinking in purely like transactional terms. I was like, excellent chess move, you know, just kind of like we're playing Battleship, you know,
right.
I'm like moving my little thing around. I haven't played Battleship.
No,
but I
now that I'm
like
older,
that.
I'm like, I actually have played Battleship more recently than I've gotten in a fight like that.
That's adulthood.
Yeah.
That's real adult life is when you know the rules of Battleship.
I played Battleship. Like we did a gig in Arizona. There's like a little game bar next door.
Oh, cool.
And the thing is, when you go to those places that have games at the bar,
yeah,
the game pieces are slimy.
Totally. Wait, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Was this Snakes and Lattes in Tempe, Arizona?
It was not. It was Phoenix.
Okay.
But I will keep my eyes peeled for Snakes and Lattes.
Snakes and Lattes is a
I just got snot everywhere.
That's
Snakes
okay.
and Lattes. I'm so sorry.
No, it's all right. Snakes and Lattes is a
That's just beautiful, like snakes and ladders.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a bar cafe game place where you rent games and you can play board games while you're eating. And I did a show at the Tempe Improv with Joe List, and we went to Snakes and Lattes, and we didn't play games, but all around, I mean, I think what you said couldn't be more true. Slimy.
That it really bothers me because, like, so I don't drink when I go out. I understand, like, they have these games for everyone.
Totally.
But since I'm not drinking, I'm more aware of how disgusting the stuff is.
Yeah. How long have you been sobs?
So I do smoke weed, but I haven't drank for probably a year and 2 months.
Okay, cool. Great. Yeah. You know how, like, well, I'm sure you remember, like, I feel like in New York especially, there's like beer gardens or like pubs where they have the giant Jenga.
Yeah.
That to me, it feels like the most acceptable form, but it still does get a little dirty, you know?
It does.
And it has that very distinct, like, loud Jenga falling, big block falling sound that, like, comes in all the time, and it sounds like you're at a bowling alley.
Well, it's like, you know how the hostess cleans the menus? The hostess does not clean the Jenga pieces.
It's so true. There's no rag for the Jenga.
No.
Get a rag for the Jenga for crying. Let's start a GoFundMe. We need a rag for the Jenga.
That's what I think about, too. Like, so I feel like when I go to the bathroom, I will never, ever flush the toilet with my hand.
Totally.
I will only use my foot. What bothers me so much is now they have these toilets where you have to use your finger. Literally,
the two choices.
Literally, like, is ruining my life that you have to touch it.
Yeah, I mean, I hate to do it.
No, because then your sweater is dirty forever. Would you rather your sweater be dirty forever?
Yeah. Can I say something? I feel like this is gonna be. I feel like you're gonna scoop what I'm pooping here.
Okay.
This is, no pun intended. This I feel like I'll do on a door, but I will never do on a flush.
Doing that on a flush is disgusting. A door, yeah, but it's still upsetting.
Bathroom door, I'll do this. I know it dirties a sweatshirt, but based on what I learned about germs on surfaces during COVID, I'm like, this feels okay. On door.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the best I can do.
I'm really not happy about it.
Well, I'm just trying to be honest about
One thing that I will do is I'll take a paper towel to open the door.
Oh, that's a great move.
Then where do I put the paper towel? And another thing, I learned that when something is wet, it transfers the bacteria. So then I'm like, what if it gets wet? Then the bacteria is transferred to my hand. Then I have to wash my hand again. Then I have to open the door again.
Right.
It's really terrible.
I kept a pocket hand sanitizer during COVID.
But that kills the good bacteria too.
Oh, it does. Well, I mean, listen, you got to kill everything. Sometimes you got to just burn the farm,
burn it all.
salt the earth,
it is,
or whatever.
I am genuinely devastated by this new invention of the top.
What is happening there? Honestly, I feel like I couldn't agree with you more. Devastating is like, I haven't really thought about this. Now we're talking about observations. You're saying you can't do the observations.
On.
I mean, the fact that this is the best observation I've heard in a long time. And I feel like you're like, I can't, I don't know how you do it. I'm like this.
I'm learning from the master.
No,
you might as well be my grandpa.
You know what? If you don't like what you're doing, take a look around and press either of the flush buttons. But I feel like we're going backwards a little bit, right? Because like we had the wave thing. Yeah. We had the thing of like, we've had for like, I would say for our entire lives, we've had maybe not our entire lives, but like for most of our lives that we can remember.
You're right.
We've had the thing where you stand up and it flushes.
Yes.
Yeah. Little red button. What is that weird red button and the little red light? What's going on there? Is that a camera? Don't film me. I don't know if it's a camera.
The automatic thing never goes off at the right time.
Right. You got to do this thing and and then, I mean, not to bring it into guy world, but the urinal technology is also weird because now they're trying to be green. And so there's like no buttons at all. Just let it drain, whatever. No water, no buttons.
Ew.
Just I know.
So it's all just in there?
Well, I think it goes down. It just goes down. And I also I feel like in the 90s, I saw this in movies. And I feel like you still see it in movies, but I've never seen it in real life, which is like at like a bar or like a fancy nightclub or restaurant. They have the urinal that's ice. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, no. An ice urinal?
It's like a giant, long thing. I feel like people listening will be like, yes,
really?
Ice thing. I feel like there's got to be a guy. If you're watching this, you know what I'm talking about. The fancy urinal that's ice. Okay. Is this my camera? Fancy urinal that's ice. Remember, think about it. Unless I dreamt that. I've never seen it in real life.
To me, but I don't think you dreamt it.
Yeah, I remember it really vividly. But also, to be fair, I've never been at one. Yeah, it's just something I've seen in
Can't even picture an ice urinal.
James Bond or something.
Wow. Well, yeah, I'm upset that they've introduced this thing where you have to touch it. It's really miserable.
Oh yeah, that was the touch thing. It feels like such a step backwards. And then the two, you know what they're doing to save water or whatever, and it's like the two drops and the one
water.
drops.
No one's paying attention to which one they're clicking. It doesn't even make sense. I don't even get which one I pick. 2 drops for a poop?
I think it's 2 drops for a poop.
Or is it 2 drops because I'm doing extra water? I'm peeing.
Right. Am I peeing? I'm right. It's like, was this a big pee? 2 drops.
Yes.
Did I expel a lot of liquid? 2 drops.
Exactly. It really makes no sense, and it's devastating.
Yeah, but
there's no way. One thing I've done, and this is embarrassing. I've used an elbow.
Oh, I don't think that's embarrassing at all. I think believe me, you're preaching to the choir here. Elbow's okay. Elbow and that thing is okay, but the problem is you got to really be specific with the elbow. You know what I mean? And then you're like, do I wash my elbow?
It's actually so miserable. To be a germaphobe is just.
Yeah, and then also, you know what, I have to be honest, this is another thing I do. I do this, and then I pound. You know when the sink is just the button you press down?
Oh, I hate that. And you know what I hate too? A tiny sink. If I'm washing my hands in a tiny sink, and then I'm washing my hands, and then my hand touches part of the sink, I got to rewash my hand.
Totally.
Because now my hand is dirty if it's touched any part of this disgusting ass fucking sink.
I couldn't agree more. Actually, this made me feel good. I went to a football game in LA recently at the big new stadium called SoFi Stadium, where Taylor Swift did her where she filmed. I think she filmed her thing there, her movie. The sink there at this brand new state, which was built in 2021, you have to keep your hands under it. But as long as you keep your hands under it, the sink runs. But you know how sometimes you're like, oh, let me reset so it runs. It's like if I pull away, it turns off. But if I keep under, it's on.
You know what I believe in? The sinks where you step on.
Oh, the step we need to bring back in full force. I feel like people were like, lose the step.
The step was gorgeous.
The step was gorgeous. I feel like some bars at the Cellar, they have the step door.
I like that. I feel like that was a Shark Tank invention.
Was it? I mean,
It would be.
I would raise my hand and invest.
I'm in.
Yes.
$200,000 for 10% of the company.
No, we want more.
Will you go in with me on this one?
All right, fine. I like when they fight the sharks and they're like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I feel like I watch so much Shark Tank that when there's a new episode, it feels like homework. Me and Dan are like, there's a new episode, we gotta watch it. We gotta watch it. It's out. We're in. It's not even we're like, this is what we have to do tonight.
Do you ever? Does that feel like one of those? I feel like that's a very relatable couples thing of those shows where you like it, but yeah, it feels like you're eating your vegetables a little bit.
Yeah,
I feel like we have that. We're watching The West Wing, and it's a little bit we don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
I still don't really. I've been watching it for over a month. I don't know anyone's name.
Yeah,
I don't know anything they're talking about. and a new idea or a new character gets introduced, and we're just kind of like, okay, Whereas I feel like other shows we've watched in the past, I was like, I knew what was up.
Yeah, like Succession, I was very into. Obviously,
Succession, I felt like I mostly knew what was going on.
There were some shows that I really enjoyed. I just feel like I haven't taken a dive.
Totally. First couple of years of Game of Thrones,
I can't get into it.
I had no idea what was going on, but I still watched it.
I don't get people that are like, just give it, 10 hours of your life. I'm like, I don't think you understand what ADHD is.
Yes, exactly.
Should I take Adderall to get into Game of Thrones? Because I will.
People probably would say that. I mean, I'm not agreeing with it, but I do think that's probably what they would say.
Okay, I'm going to read your tarot cards.
I got to say, I don't know if this made it at the top of the episode. I'm terrified.
You're terrified?
I'm terrified. Yes. Ooh, love that.
I'm really okay. So first, you're gonna shuffle the cards, put some energy in. Think about what you want to hear from the cards today. We're gonna do a past, present, future reading.
Oh my god!
I know a lot of the cards' meanings, but I don't know all of them, so I will be referencing the book if I don't know the.
I'm bad at shuffling.
Every single person is insecure about their shuffle. I don't know why.
Well, the only reason is I can't do the poker. But you're not supposed to do that.
No. You just put some energy into the cards.
How funny would that be if I did like the blackjack dealer? Like, yes. You're like, you're ruining my tarot cards. If you break the tarot cards, it's bad luck forever. Okay.
So what do we need to hear today? Okay, great. Love it. So we're going to do a little past card. Oh, the Empress. Lovely card.
What does it mean?
The past, the Empress, that's very much like... kind of like the High Priestess, so it's very like female energy of just kind of like observing, and psychic.
Observing.
It's a powerful, successful card. We're gonna read it from the book because it's got a lot going on in there.
Great, and that's my past.
That's your past. The present.
Shit.
Are things not going well?
Things are going well.
They are?
Oh God.
No, just tell me what's going on.
Things are going well.
Is anything happening? I can't read this for comics anymore.
Wait.
No,
is anything happening?
No, nothing. Is anything going on in your life?
I mean, things are going on all the time. It's life.
Okay. Present is the Tower, which is not really a welcome card always, but it could. There's going to be some rebuilding happening in some way, shape, or form in your life in the present moment. Is that ringing true at all?
I mean,
you're not like, you don't share much about your personal life, so I don't know.
Rebuilding. Just tell me what the Tower means.
We're going to see that, and then we're going to see the future is Temperance, which is really good. We're going to bring all the elements together. We've got, you didn't shuffle well.
I didn't shuffle well
You
at all.
You shuffled well. And we've got fire, we've got water, we're bringing all the elements in together. Okay, so this is an interesting reading. I am concerned, everything is really beautiful. It's a very powerful reading, Luke. Because everything's from the major arcana, which is all like the big, like archetype cards.
Can I just say before the recording, I said my fear is that you're going to pull a card and go, like the movies go,
yeah,
you must leave.
You did put that in, that energy in. So, all right, we'll start with the past. The Empress, a really lovely card. We love the Empress. Creation, nature, the mother, very successful. The Empress is the mother, the goddess of the tarot. Her energy encompasses all that is warm, fertile, creative, and sensual in the world. Her strength comes from being gentle and compassionate and loving without binding. When this card appears, it's pointing to either a maternal relationship in your life or the side of yourself that wants to love more. The Empress also suggests it's time for you to reconnect with nature. Go outside and find the moon.
Love that.
Lovely. It's a lovely card.
I love the moon.
Very lovely, connecting with nature, your female energy.
Yeah.
We love that. Success. Psychic energy.
And when you say that's my past, does that mean like, what does that mean? Like this is what I'm coming from?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah. It's been great stuff.
Am I bringing female energy into the podcast?
Into your life, like in a good way.
Into my life. Okay, good.
You're nurturing.
Maternal. I'm mothering
sensitive.
Myself. Good. I think I am sensitive.
Okay.
The
now.
Tower. Fuck.
The Tower.
Jesus Christ. It's at the very end of the book.
Okay, well...
Just give it to me. Just give it to me.
When the Tower card appears, it's time to brace yourself for a change.
Okay.
The well-rooted tree that's been growing strong for decades is crashing down around you. Your world may feel as though it's literally falling apart. and you didn't see it coming. Even though this phase is painful and confusing, it will be over soon. You'll look back and feel grateful things changed course. You might even see it as a personal breakthrough in the end.
Now, let me ask you a question. Has anybody pulled the tower before?
So...
Fuck. Oh my God. I'm going to die. I'm literally going to die. Oh my God. Of course.
No,
Fuck.
honestly, this is what I'm going to say about this.
Yeah.
I think this is... Are you planning on moving anytime soon?
No. I don't know what this could be. Also, I love that the only positive thing about the tower is, don't worry, it'll be over soon.
No. Here's the thing. This is kind of like it's positive change, like a change that at first you're like, oh, this feels negative, but it winds up being positive.
I think that could be... I don't know what that could be, but I am going to take it into my life and try to, when changes come, I'm going to try to look at things positively. I think that's what I'm going to try to spin a positive out of this. I'm just trying to glean what, oh fuck, this is not good. You're looking at this like this is a cursed energy here. I've cursed the podcast.
Well, no, so we have this beautiful,
Fuck.
I know, this is good.
Okay.
Well, I'm just trying to figure out what this could be for you.
I don't know.
I don't know. You don't have any changes happening in your life at all? It's a present card. Are you moving?
Oh, I mean, like, I'm going to be on, well, okay, this is like, maybe this is a really like milquetoast answer, but I am going to be on the road less.
Okay.
Starting for the next like couple months. Like,
okay.
I don't have as much road stuff through the end of the year.
That's good.
Maybe I'll be at home more. Talk about maybe getting a dog. Maybe I'll get a dog.
Okay.
Could that be something?
The dog. I'm
really reaching here. Really reaching, just try to find all the positive things I can. Can I read it? Can I see it?
Yeah. It's not a big deal. It's just a card.
When the tower card appears, it's time to brace yourself for a change. You might even see it as a personal breakthrough. You'll look back and feel grateful. Okay. Yeah. I mean, painful and confusing is not great, and it is.
It's really.
Is this the most negative card you can get?
It's not the welcome card. Yeah, that's a card no one wants to pull, for sure. But it's not bad. It can be good.
Okay.
You're so pissed.
I'm not pissed. I'm not pissed.
No, to be honest, it's a good card because for me, the most positive thing that ever happened in my life was a tower, you know?
But was it painful?
But, you know, there are lots of little towers. There are big towers. A tower could be,
That's the thing.
Stubbing your toe and writing a joke about it.
That's the thing.
Yeah,
that's the thing.
Okay. Yeah.
Also, it's the present, right?
Yeah. So it's right now. You don't have to worry about the future. So maybe right now, maybe you got in an argument this morning.
Yeah. I just don't want to.
So we're not going to linger on that.
Okay.
So we're going to move on.
It's about stubbing my toe.
Did you stub your toe this morning?
I
gotta stop doing this. Okay, honestly, I think so. This is good. So we have a lot of like beautiful energy.
Yeah.
Then here it's like there will be changes that occur, and you just have to remember like this change is only going to be positive and help you with your creativity.
Great.
Let's read the future so we can get a full reading and not panic.
Great. I'm not panicking at all. I'm totally fine.
I have to be better at staying calm during these things. Healing and renewal is coming right after the tower, so there's really no big deal.
And this, just for the record, before temperance, this could have already passed, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great.
Exactly. It already happened.
It already happened. Done.
So
Thank you.
The great blue heron remains calm and peaceful as she blends the opposing elements of fire and water. The temperance card asks you to be a moderator, much like the heron. Focus on cooperation and compromise. If you've been excessive in one aspect of your life, practice self-restraint and moderation. You'll find a new sense of healing and balance from bringing a little harmony back into your life. So I don't know. I kind of see this reading as like, I don't know. The Empress card is really a lot. It's like, all right, the Empress, we're talking about like, you know, fertile, motherly, compassionate energy. Then something happens that like really throws you off, changes the way you feel, and it like makes you very freaked out, but good things come of it, and you wind up learning how to compromise, and it actually winds up being really good and making you feel even better and more solidified in your life.
That I think is great. I honestly, all jokes aside, I feel like that can apply to many things throughout life. And that actually makes me feel really good, which basically what this says is like, you're starting warm, things feel unstable, you don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Upheaval can feel like so many different things. Upheaval, I feel like it could even, I mean, I'm totally reading into it, but please tell me if I'm wrong.
No.
Like upheaval even feels like it could be something like personal, like personal upheaval where like like I'm not sure. I feel dislodged just internally.
Yes, definitely.
Is that possible with the tower? 100%. Okay, great. Then, and temperance, I mean, it's like everything's going to be okay. And even
then
this
you
is saying
pull everything together. Okay. Yeah, exactly. No, the tower can also be like a lot of it. I feel like with tarot cards is like an internal struggle too, especially as an artist. Like I feel like a lot of things that happen is inside.
I'm trying to apply it. If I apply it to comedy, then it makes sense because it's like I'm building a new hour. Yeah. And this is like I'm trying to figure out what. I'm just
I mean, this is the process of building an hour. I mean, like you're building something, like you're putting out or nurturing something and building something. There are going to be things that are going to like bomb, but you'll learn from them.
Yeah, this is like,
and then you compromise and find out what really works.
This one is definitely the tower. I can't even pick it up, which is just God trying to get me to. No, this is like I'm bombing all the time. This is good.
No. But then temperance is like you found out how to make the perfect. You combine fire and water, and it's like you're this juggler.
I love it.
Juggler of the energy of the room.
I love it. That's good.
See, I'm freaking people out with the tarot cards.
No, I'm not freaked out. Honestly, I was freaked out initially, but now I'm like, this feels good. Like the alone. If I didn't know we were doing 3, so if this was alone, I would be like, I mean, already chaos.
Yeah.
If this was alone, I would be freaked out. But the fact that it's like.
Got friends, it's comforted, and there's 2 guys on each side to make sure everything's good. And this is just part of the journey, the hero's journey in life.
It is definitely a little concerning that the first one is a tree and the second one is a tree on fire.
But then the bird is taking the fire and putting water with it.
Oh, you're right. Is that what he's doing?
Yeah, he's got fire and water.
Oh, fuck.
Yeah.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
Never mind. Okay, great.
It's all good. You put the fire
and
with the water. And this is my present. Yeah, and this is your future. So you're all good. This could be literally the next minute. This could be now. This is the future now.
I love
the present now. So
that makes me feel good.
Woo! Luke, thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me. So fun.
Oh my God. Are you glad you came on?
I'm so glad I came on. I had a great time.
Okay, good.
Don't worry about this. I truly feel good about this.
Okay, great. Where can people find you? Where can they see you?
Luke Mones on all this stuff, and my shows are on there.
Amazing. Thank you so much. And as always, subscribe, like, comment, and we're on Fourth Wall, helpwithnatalie.com. You can find bonus episodes, you can find merch, lots of cool stuff. So make sure you check it out. And thanks for subscribing. We'll see you next week.